First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Professor Allan Saxe is on the line right now. Boy, a very clear and crystal clear line. Sounds like he's sitting right next to me. Professor, I should say. Good morning.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you can hear.
Oh, we definitely can tell the difference. I kind of miss the old hum, though. I do. Nah, I don't. Not really. So, Professor, good morning. Of course, Professor Allan Saxe is one of our favorites from the University of Texas at Arlington. Former President Trump is signaling that he is getting ready to get back into the game. What do you think, Professor?
I think he's been itching for a long time. And now I believe in about a week or so, he's going to be in North Carolina at a North Carolina Republican event. And it'll be interesting to see what he's going to say. But what I understand, which is still sort of mysterious to me, is that the media has been excluded from it. But there's still some things hanging over his head. All of a sudden, yesterday, the New York Attorney General's office has filed criminal charges against him. Not anything to do with politics, but just his business dealings in New York. So they can't let him alone. It's almost like the Democrats are saying he's trying to get up, nail him again.
Well, what if they, it's interesting because previously they were going after him for a civil case. But
That's
what
right.
happened? But what happened yesterday is they switched it from a civil case to a criminal case. Is it possible they found something?
It's possible, but
not probable.
I'm sure he knew it was something like that was going to happen. I don't know how important the charges are, but I think it's going to be a very small cloud over his head as he begins to emerge. But there's so many things out there that he needs to get on. Joe Biden, number one. Yesterday, Joe Biden at an automobile plant embraced Regina Tlaib, who's the worst of the squad, has said unbelievably miserable things about America, about President Trump, and Donald. And yesterday, President Biden embraced her, said she was great, and that is just outrageous. Joe Biden really has some stuff to answer for.
It is interesting, though, and I just wanted to be fair. I try to show both sides of it as much as I can, and I know you do the same thing, Professor. To be fair, I do recall when President Obama had made some comments about President Trump when all this stuff was going on. Everybody was up in arms, like, you're a former president. Go back, go on vacation. That's what you're supposed to do. And the same thing happened to George Bush. People didn't want Bush to come out. And as a matter of fact, George Bush never really spoke about any Obama years, even though he probably was itching to get in there. But now all of a sudden, the same people that were complaining about Obama coming out and speaking as a post-president are okay with President Trump coming out like no other president has ever come out publicly before after he's left office. What do you think about that?
I think the issues today, and this maybe is a bad excuse,
okay.
The issues today are so momentous, so important. All of American life and government is being turned upside down. And I think a former president does have the right to do it. By the way, Jimmy Carter...
He definitely has the right to do it, yeah.
That's right. And so, in fact, I welcome it. It is that important that he get out there and say something. Yeah. It's not that you agree with him in any way, but he needs to say it, and the public needs to hear it.
Got it. I wonder if, like Jimmy Carter, he'll go out and start building houses. No, it'll be skyscrapers, probably.
I doubt if we're going to see President Trump with a hammer in his hand, wearing overalls on a house. But in a
business suit, you might see him out there building, building the wall,
right?
Building a wall,
that's right.
Yeah, but building like skyscrapers and office buildings and stuff.
I'll never forget there was a Jay Leno appearance by W, and it was right after Obama took office, and Leno asked him something about something that was going on, and I use this line all the time. I think it's a great one. W said, "Better him than me."
Yeah, I think of all the presidents, W, as they say, probably said less than anyone. He didn't. There wasn't a word that came out of his mouth. So very interesting. But you're welcoming it. Get him out here. Do you, and I feel you'd be happy about it, but do you think President Trump is going to run again?
I don't.
You don't?
I think he'd like to, but I don't think 2024 is going to be his game. I think that party is now going to turn to Governor DeSantis of Florida. It's just a wild guess. But Governor DeSantis has everything that Donald Trump has without all of the bad stuff. He knows when to talk, and he's very articulate.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like President Trump can't help himself oftentimes, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He just can't do it.
Yeah.
But yesterday, when Joe Biden, the president, embraced Regina Tlaib, I mean, that's a bit much.
Yep. Terrible.
Do you think that
terrible
Governor DeSantis would really give up that? I mean, he's a king in Florida. I mean, people love him. And then he's going to go and face the same kind of onslaught that President Trump did. I don't know that. I don't know that he would do that.
Are you kidding me? I think he's the chosen one. I think
I do too.
He's all in on it, I think.
What do you mean the chosen one?
He's the one. He's the one. And I think that DeSantis is ready to go.
A uniter? Or he thinks he's the chosen one?
Well, I believe he feels that he will be an amazing president. I think they all feel that. What do you think, Professor? Who cares what we think?
No, I do care what you think.
Okay.
You know, but the media is so corrupt these days.
I know.
I'm talking the national media is just terrible. And so we need somebody, and that's why I give President Trump a break on saying things that maybe he should not say as a former president. But he just cannot sit there. By the way, I'm going to compare him to Winston Churchill.
Wow.
When Churchill was out of office, but he saw Neville Chamberlain and his own party doing things that he just could not imagine as the world tumbled into the Second World War and the rise of Nazi Germany. And so Winston Churchill got back into politics.
He came back. You're right. And the problem is, though, the longer he stayed, the more he wasn't as heralded, right?
Exactly.
But thank God he came back, right? Thank God he came back. I mean, he played such a huge role for the world, and especially during World War II. So, all right, last question for you, Professor. What about these Republicans that are breaking away from President Trump, like Liz Cheney and others, and have actually been talking about forming a third party, breaking off and breaking away from the Republican Party? What about those people?
Bad
those traitors.
Idea.
Yeah.
Bad idea. I used to love Liz Cheney. But I don't know what's happened to her.
Terrible.
But I used to love her a lot. But if you look at those words that President Trump made at that rally on January the 6th, he specifically said, go over, march over.
Peacefully.
Exactly. And I don't know why Liz Cheney didn't hear that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she keeps focusing on some of this stupid stuff, like the fact that he didn't come out to tell the rioters to go home until 4 o'clock. He allowed it to go on for 3 hours. I mean, how can you go after somebody for what they didn't say as opposed to going after for somebody for what they did say, right? I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's a very good point. That's right. And that's very important.
Come on. All right, we're with you, Professor. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And I hope the sun is shining down there like it is right here. I'm sure it is.
We're in for some interesting times.
Yeah, we are. There's no doubt about it. Professor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Professor Allan Saxe from the University of Texas at Arlington, a very fair and balanced professor, one that is a little different, whereas the rest of the professors around the country in these universities and colleges are all very biased, but not Professor Allan Saxe.
You know, I really do like him as much as I
do too.
Sometimes don't agree with him, but I really do like him.
You don't agree with him sometimes?
Well, sometimes I don't know.
Okay.
But I really do like him.
I do like him too. And I don't know, with a clean line, normally if you haven't heard him on before, he always called and there was this buzz sound in the background.
I think we're responsible for
We are.
Fox finally getting their you-know-what together.
Talked to him and said, "What? You got to use a different phone line. This is terrible. It sounds awful." The buzz was
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
It was louder than him, and now today I kind of missed it a little bit.